actually, we should have turned up today, Sharon, wearing the most silly hat. It's kind of like we should have like turned up like the Mad Hatter's Tea Party, I think.
Oh,
For this,
I know you've got a top hat.
We have missed a trick, haven't we?
We have. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did the March Hare have a hat?
Did the March Hare have a hat? Well, they probably all had hats because they were at the Mad Hatter's Tea Party. But, you know, maybe we should have a silly hat competition at some point. For, you know, in a two of coins silly hat competition.
We can do that. Oh my God. We might be the only ones who understand it. But
I honestly cannot get over that hat in this card of the Two of Coins.
Yeah, he's got.
Where did that come from? You know, that decision to put that hat on his head.
This is a hypothesis, if that's the right word. This is my opinion. Yeah. But the red on a hat, that's not my opinion. This is true. The red on a hat in the tarot shows a lot of thought going on, a lot of ideas, a lot of passion. And yes, because his hat is so big, he may be just juggling time to try to figure out how to do all the shit that's going on in his head.
Maybe.
You know?
Maybe.
Because that hat is very elongated, and it means he's full of ideas and full of plans, but he's obviously not able to juggle them all or get them all out there. I feel really overwhelmed by everything going on, and a lot of it's in his head.
Yeah.
I
mean, it does look like he's doing a tap dance and trying to juggle. And I don't know whether you ever went to tap dancing, but when you first learn a routine, I mean, unless you're a professional, but when you first learn a routine, there's more going on in your head than in your feet. You're thinking, I've got to sort of like tap on the ball of my foot, then put my heel down, then I've got to kind of like spring onto the other leg, and then I have to click my ankle and then tap on the toe. And there's just so many little details because your feet are doing so many different things, but you're actually dancing with your head rather than your feet to begin with, and then suddenly you've got it, and then you can enjoy it, you know, and you don't have to kind of think about it anymore. But that does feel like me trying to do a tap dance, to be honest.
I'd be in the drink. I would be in the water if I even attempted from what you just described.
It's hard tap dancing. Like when I see people, you know, like great tap dancers doing routines on, you know, talent shows or whatever, and I actually genuinely do know how much skill that takes or how difficult that is. Like a lot of what they do, it's incredible and hugely energetic as well. And he's juggling at the same time, don't forget.
Yeah.
Not just tap dancing, you know, with a complicated routine. He's also juggling and he's thinking about, you know, like all his problems that he's got to solve when he gets home.
Wow, I'll never see him the same.
It's kind of, on the other hand, he's all brightly coloured and all jolly looking. Sometimes I think this is a fun character, and sometimes I think this is a very, very hard-working character that's really, really struggling to kind of get away with it, with what everything he's got to do. I can, even in the upright position, I can see this both ways.
See, he was one I was truly trapped in. I was stuck in a rut with him for years and years. Always saw him as robbing Peter to pay Paul, in a perpetual, like a never flipping ending cycle of bills. I was very trapped in that. And it was Iris, one of my friends in Scotland, who said, well, Sharon, he could be a busker. I was like, what the hell is a busker? I didn't know that word. And she
Yeah.
explained to me he could be one of the street performers, which is the
Yes.
busker, you know, gathering attention, doing the tap dancing and the
Yeah.
juggling. And I was like, I never saw that. I always saw that water behind him.
Yeah.
And being an earth card, that water is very important in the water. That's aside from, I think, the King of Cups, that's the most violent water in the deck.
Right.
And
Yes.
so I always saw him on a ship's deck, not on a dock, but actually on a ship's deck, losing his footing, doesn't have his sea legs yet. So being able to see him in a more fun light was very refreshing and reminded me not to get trapped in those particular ruts with what a card can mean. He speaks to me a great deal more now since she pointed that out to me, you know?
Definitely can see him as an entertainer, and as a fun, you know, comical character. I can see that as bright and cheerful, but I can also see it as someone who is really struggling, really struggling. Yeah. It's a struggling entertainer. He might be both things at once.
Right, right. And you've got the figure eight, the lemniscate here that shows that it's a perpetual cycle. It's never ending. Now there's some theories that Pam didn't actually put this particular string on there. She didn't put the figure eight because you can see the shoulder line and you can see where the figure eight is actually going out of the card. And I do think that she put him off balance, you know, not in the center to show the off balancedness of it. But this pulls it even further. People think that Waite added that in, that was something he added. Whether he did or not, it still means something to me when it captures my attention.
Yeah.
But it's never ending. And
I mean,
then
there's a few cards that have got that symbol in. There's that one,
mhm,
there's the Strength and the
the
Magician.
magician.
Is that
Yep.
it?
I'd have to look, but off the top of my head,
That'd be it.
those are
So
the three.
if that is it, this is the only one in the minors then that sort of shows a situation that's very got cycles in it that just repeat over and over again. And
Yeah.
juggling is a kind of getting into a rhythm, isn't it? It's kind of like once you are sort of juggling and you've got the rhythm going, you can kind of multitask once you've actually got the rhythm going.
I can get one ball going for about 3 seconds.
But don't you play video games?
I do.
I mean, I don't know what you play, and I don't play modern video games, but years ago, I'm really giving away the age here. It's probably giving itself away. But I used to play Space Invaders. And once you got the rhythm sort of going, you actually could, it could kind of just keep going, and you could talk to someone in between, and you could actually, but getting a rhythm going is the kind of key to a lot of multitasking, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, and even the game I play predominantly, I play World of Warcraft, and there's a rhythm and a cycle to the spells that you're going to cast or the buttons you're going to push. It's got recommended rhythms and cycles so that you get through in one piece. So that could be video game. It really could.
Well, I just see rhythm in this card. I really do see it. I kind of think tap dancing is all about rhythm, juggling is all about rhythm, that cycle thing is all about rhythm. Maybe, you know, equally he could be a musician or something, even though he's not playing a musical instrument. It could be representative of a rhythmic person. And I kind of like feel, you know, the planets all have rhythms, they all have cycles, you know, they've all got their kind of like roughly, and it's kind of when they get out of rhythm, that kind of, you know, like Mercury retrograde, when it gets out of its usual rhythm, even though it does that quite sort of frequently, we have to adjust to it when the rhythms change.
Or you'll lose your footing. I mean,
Yes,
especially if he's
yes,
on the deck of a ship in one misplaced
yes,
step, he's gonna be in the water or on his butt. So I love that. I love that. I do still see him occasionally as that endless bill of cycle of bills.
yes,
I
yeah,
see him as, a player. He's definitely a player, juggling all those women, even though they're coins in his hand, all those women, and then he's got that, giant red condom on his head. So
yes, yes, yes. You can't not see that. That it could be very
yeah.
relevant.
Yeah, and he's leaving a lot of broken hearts in his wake. So
Well, I've got to
he's
say,
good and bad.
if somebody said to me, "Is he seeing anyone else?" and that card came up upright, I would probably say, I don't think you're alone in this equation.
Or just one?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It does have that kind of implication going on. I don't know
Absolutely.
how good he is at it, at kind of like trying to play a few of them at the same time. He's kind of by the skin of his teeth maybe getting away with it, but I don't know that's comfortable for him exactly.
Yeah, that look on his face, he's like,
Yeah,
oh, hell. I could be working, several jobs trying to make ends meet. And
yes.
uh, this is one of those cards where he can be a great thing or a horrible thing. This is one of the really versatile cards.
Do you think it's necessary for the universe to send you this card in reverse, or are you going to get it anyway from the upright?
I think you'd get it anyway in the upright, but I think in the reverse, there's just nothing good there. In the reverse position, there's really not much I can see good. Even if he is a street performer, a busker, he's not doing well in that
Now
reverse.
he's going to drop his balls, and his hat's going to drop off. He's not. It's just everything's going to collapse. Really, I think in reverse for him.
Yeah, and those waves are going to come right up onto his little
Yeah,
platform he's standing on.
yeah.
So, yeah, he's just not a happy camper in the reverse.
I don't think so.
And with me, with the way I saw it all the time with the bills and the robbing Peter to pay Paul crap, in the reverse, that makes that so much worse. It's
Yeah,
too much of something.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like it's gone on for long enough.
Yep.
Yeah.
We need to find a
You've
way
got
to
to find
break
a
that.
different way. You've got to find a different way of doing this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it might be saying clear your head.
Very much so. Nice call. I don't know why, but I'm seeing the belt. It might be saying tighten your belt.
Oh, yes. I've got to be honest, when I was younger, I would be multitasking all the time. And now I am very conscious of the fact that I am nowhere near as capable or good at it as I used to be. I hate to sort of admit it, but it's really obvious to me that I only want one thing in my head at a time.
Yeah, because when I try to multitask now, I'm right there with you, but that's when I make mistakes.
Yeah,
I mean, I make mistakes when I'm doing one thing at a time. You've seen it happen. But when I'm multitasking, I make
yeah,
big mistakes.
yeah.
So I think when we were younger, we may have made mistakes then too, but they didn't affect us as much.
I've noticed, like with Gretel, I trust her clear-headedness because she's like 19 and I'm not 19. But I might say, are you sure I said that, or whatever, or are you sure it's at 9 o'clock? And she'll go, yes, mum, absolutely sure, like blah blah blah, and she will be right. I do trust her when she's saying she knows something. I trust that she really does know it. Whereas I'm kind of like, oh, it might have said that, but on the other hand, I don't know, I wasn't concentrating properly, blah, blah, blah. You know, I used to trust myself with an abundance of stuff in my head. And I was arrogant enough to sort of think, I know that I'm right. But now I have to
double check, write it down.
Yeah, and try only and do one thing at a time.
So do you think in the upright he would be a great multitasker, or at least an efficient one? But in reverse, we would tell someone, no, just stop multitasking.
Yeah, if that was relevant to the question, stop multitasking. You're not going to kind of, it's really not going to pay off.
Yeah. I think I've mostly always been like this for as far back as I can remember, even when I was 19, as I've got a specific thing I want to do. I want to get that done. Then I'll have a list of things to do after. But if something comes in and says it needs to be like, oh my God, with my job at the grocery store, the first thing you need to do when you walk in the door is do a freshness check. The first thing you need to do when you walk in the door is paperwork. And just an endless list of first things. And I was like, finally just flabbergasted. I was like, which damn first thing do you want me to do first?
Yeah.
I get very shattered and miscombobulated if I've got a lot of things flying at me.
Sometimes I can be quite good if I stop for a moment. If I know I've got a load of things to do, and then I might think, hang on, the most sensible thing is put the clothes in the washing machine and turn that on. Then while that's doing, then I can do this and this. So sometimes I can stop in my tracks and make a sensible decision, but I have to stop to kind of rationalize that.
Yeah. You gotta recognize that feeling when you're going in 17 directions and getting nothing done. When that happens to me, and you know my famous notebooks, I sit down and I think of everything I have to do and I put it in a list, and then I put numbers by them for priority, and I don't touch the others until I'm done with that. I have to. If I don't have a list in front of me, and yes, I have Virgo and Venus. I do have Virgo. Nothing gets done without the list. Nothing.
See, I don't think I've got anything in Virgo, and I sort of wish I did in a way. It would help.
And this is a very Virgo card.
Yes. Oh totally. God, yeah. Mutable Earth.
Didn't I do a reading with you once where he came up and I told you to make lists?
Probably. Very probably. Very, very probably. I definitely need to make lists.
Yeah.
I've been better though. Have you noticed when I do make a list, and like I did all the schedules for the Pomegranate Grove, incidentally, I feel so much more clear-headed once I've actually organized something and got it down really, really clearly. Even if it then has to be changed, that's fine. But pen to paper makes, or typing it out, whatever, just is such a wonderful tool.
Oh my God.
Writing things out.
Traps everything in place so you're not thinking ahead 27 steps. Helps pull you back to where you're supposed to be. So I think the Two of Coins in reverse would be an epic, not all the time, people, but an epic sit down and make a list.
Yeah. Don't do anything else. Stop dancing around, right? Stop pretending that you're coping. Sit down and make a list. If that is relevant to the question.
This was me. What day was that? Last Tuesday, when I was so confused because all of and I just, you could tell I was near tears.
Yes.
I couldn't keep up with the schedule, and you sat down and you made me a schedule, and I could have kissed your toes.
It actually made me feel better doing it as well, because you were getting more stressed out about it than I was. It was just, that was the mood of the day.
I was near
It could
tears.
equally been the other way around, but on that moment, you were very, very stressed. And I thought, do you know what? I wouldn't mind really redoing this schedule, so it's really clear. That would make me feel better as well. So yes, I did it. You motivated me to do it, but it was a good exercise for me to do it as well.
Yeah. So that's where that Two of Coins in reverse could be a good thing. Where you
Yes.
said, I got your back, Sharon, because
Yeah.
I was ready to have a meltdown.
And if somebody was saying, is he seeing lots of other women, and that came up reversed, I would just say no, he wouldn't be able to cope with it.
No, couldn't handle it.
No.
Absolutely. So there he's
It might be a good idea in his mind, but in reality, it's a non-starter for him. He just absolutely could not handle it.
So
Or
he
never
does
mind.
have positivity in reverse.
Yes.
Yes, he does. Very, very versatile young man.
And that hat.
He
Well,
came prepared.
no, yeah.
Intended.
I definitely think a Mad Hat competition at some point would work very well.
You ever see one of them beer bongs?
No.
It's a hat. It's like a hard hat, and it has two little cup holders, and you put your beer in the hat, and it has two straws coming down to your mouth.
Oh my God. No, I can honestly say I've never seen such a thing.
I'll wear that to the Mad Hat party. So, do you have a card to share with us?
I do. I have the Lunatic, Two of Coins, the Lunatic Tarot, Two of Coins. And I think this, I took one look at this card and that image just was implanted in my brain.
Ah, that's beautiful.
Look at her.
And
now,
she,
very different, isn't it?
oh my God, yeah.
I mean, what we have got that's similar is that she has got she's an entertainer. She's the dancing is there, but it's so elegant. It's so gymnastic and balletic. It's that rhythmic. The rhythm is very much still there, but also the infinity sign is also still there.
The difference is, though, those coins aren't trapped in that infinity sign. She's using that infinity sign as a tool to make her presentation better.
Yeah.
So
and she's in the sea, and it's almost like that infinity sign has sort of jumped out of the sea. It's like
to dance with her. Yeah. And the look on her face, she looks sublime.
I know.
She is not struggling at all. She is. And she's got the balance. She's not off-centered. She's not gonna fall over if one misstep she ain't gonna make any mistakes. She knows what the hell she's doing.
I know. She's world class, isn't she? She's Olympic standard. I mean, she's so fabulous.
She is. Oh wow, she's beautiful. Totally different read. Completely. Same Two of Coins. But she would be something I'd be like, oh wow,
her balance is beyond belief. She's balancing on the tip of her toes on water.
Yeah.
Is he seeing someone else? Yes, and I don't think you can compete with her. but no, I mean, no, I just think her beauty is sort of like astonishing. So that's what sort of stands out, and her grace and her elegance.
Yeah. Yeah. And she's got your red hair. Did you dance like that?
Oh, it's me. Didn't you realize?
Yes. Looking at her. That's got to be you.
I do have to say, though, with the Virgo thing, to do what she is doing and to do it at that level takes so much skill and practice. The attention to detail is still oozing out of that, which is very much a Virgo thing. It's like, have you ever seen Sylvie Guillaume, like the French ballerina on YouTube? She's almost like experimental with her body. Like she knows every little muscle and kind of what every little muscle of her finger or of her toe is doing. And that's what this girl here reminds me of. It's kind of like it's just mesmerizing to watch someone of that level.
Yeah, she's got complete control. Whereas the Rider-Waite, Two of Coins, he could lose it at any minute.
Yeah.
I think. But she's got complete control. It's funny.
Yeah.
Because we chose not quite similar cards, but similar in let me find him. You're gonna love this Two of Coins. From the Everyday Enchantment deck.
Oh, yes.
And that is an everyday thing. I never thought of that until I saw this particular deck where he's just weaving through all the people and not dropping those plates. He's a freaking master. You know?
Oh my God. Like there's a musical called Working, and the best song in it is the Waitress song. And she sings, it's an art to be a great waitress. And she talks about dropping the plates and all that sort of thing, right? And it's just now, I just want to play the Waitress song, like as he's whizzing through the room with these plates. It's amazing.
Oh,
I love it.
It is such an amazing skill that people take for granted because we do see it every day. But and he's smiling and 15 people are waving or holding their hands up.
Yes.
But he's got this.
And he's smiling, and it's that multitasking thing. Instead of being all stressed because a million people are saying, me, over here, sir, over here, I was next, and that, he's taking it all in his stride. It's that expertise, and she's got it as well. That my lunatic one, but the Rider-Waite one, it's like he's hanging on for dear life. He's going to kind of lose it any second.
Yeah. And I imagine starting out as a waiter or a waitress, you feel that way. But he's progressed to the point. Look at his little fairy. There's a fairy in every card on the Everyday Enchanted. And she's just jumping for joy. Gorgeous. She's cheering him on. I'm going to have to do a deck of the week on that eventually, too.
Oh, definitely.
It's just a beautiful.
Love it. That's amazing.
But it's so funny because we both chose cards with a similar feel. Yes. A similar, we must have been in tune.
Yes. It's kind of like what the Two of Coins maybe in the Rider-Waite maybe might aspire to. If he kind of keeps at it, I just see him as it's the hat mostly that it reminds me of me doing the tap dance, where I was like, as I say, the dancing was in my head rather than in my feet. Eventually I'd get it into my feet, but oh my God.
So it could just mean keep trying, keep practicing.
Yeah.
Keep practicing, and it'll become muscle memory.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Dang. Okay, I see him in a whole new light. I will never see him the same way. And I certainly won't. Now, if he comes up and that's like screaming in my head as far as Peter and Paul, I'll use it if it's, if it's my first instinct. But things like this have helped me grow so much to see the beauty of these cards and everything these cards can say. I wouldn't try to mush them all into one reading.
We've only looked at 3 decks for Two of Coins, and they're all based on the Rider-Waite principle. They're all based on that 2, the balancing act thing, the earthy thing, that she's learned a skill. The waiter has learned a skill. He's trying to learn a skill. And there are thousands of decks, all with their own artistry. You've got to check them out.
Yeah.
You've got to literally check out the imagery before you just jump in with some keyword.
Absolutely.
Because the card could be saying something completely different to you.
Yeah. And those 2 we just showed have a completely different feel than the White Rider-Waite, even though they're based on a similar image.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
just the cards, read the deck you're reading with. It's like-
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
No, it's no, it was a really, really fun card to sort of look at and think about. And I'm sure that, you know, other people will have their kind of interpretations or things that it's said to them.
Yeah,
reading.
we'd love to
definitely.
hear about it. So
Yeah.
definitely don't be shy. Leave us some comments and like, subscribe, but please leave comments. We're interested in what y'all have to say.
Definitely so. Yeah. So thank you. So hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you at the Three of Coins.
Bye.
Bye for now.